Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my skate crisis. You see, a lot of stuff in my life has changed over the last 6, 7, 8 months that I haven't been making videos. Let's see, I moved from Pennsylvania to Washington. I changed jobs and I also started riding Razors Colts. However, unless you've been living under a rock or you're watching this way out in the future, Razors just keeps making it harder and harder to want to skate their skates and support their company. If you've ever skated any Razors, you know their plastic slides better than any other skates on the market. I don't know what their formula is, but it's better than anyone. And I really want to ride their skates, but I don't want to keep giving money to a company that just continuously treats its riders poorly. Now, to help me figure out my skate crisis, I've got my Colts. I know I like the Colts. I've got them set up with Symmetrics frames, and I'll swap my Intuition liners here in a minute. Gonna skate these and see how they compare to my 909s with the new Them sole plate on it. Got those set up with Fluid 5s, dead 92As, and I gotta see if I like the 909s enough to leave the Colt behind. I've learned a lot of new tricks since I started skating these, and if these skates work better for me, I'm gonna keep skating them no matter what's going on behind the scenes at Razors. If a boot works for you, it works for you, and that's what you're gonna skate because you're gonna wanna have the best skating experience possible, right? So we'll try this out and see if I like the 909s as much. All right, that does it for the Colts for today. As expected, definitely an amazing boot for doing grinds, but time to swap over to the 909s, see if I like these enough to leave the Colts behind. Oh. Whoa. So after coming off of Colts with the Intuition heel pads in them, 909s basically feel like a flat boot. This is crazy. I didn't realize how high the heel raise on the Colt really is. Like these seriously feel like K2s right now. Not good or bad. Just need to get adjusted to it. All right, don't know how this audio is gonna turn out. Don't normally skate and talk. But these two skates could not feel more different. Oh my goodness. This is exactly why I've brought up the don't get caught up in gear stuff conversation before, is switching back and forth can really throw you off. I mean, in theory, these skates shouldn't be that different. Got very similar frames. Wheels are a little different, but oh my goodness. Seriously, I feel like I'm skating some hybrid of a K2 and a M12 versus the Colt. And it's not because I don't like these skates. I know I like these skates. They just are so massively different than the just riding. And it'll really throw you off. It's way better to just let yourself get used to something and keep skating it. Then you're only fighting the trick, not the trick, the obstacle, and the equipment. So let's keep it going. Starting to feel okay. And yeah, let's bang out some more tricks at this place. So what in the world is going on with Razor skates? What did they do that was so bad that it's got everybody throwing their Razor skates either in the trash or on Blade Trade? Well, I'm sure you guys already know there's been multiple videos put out talking about it. And if you're interested, check out the Wheel Scene podcast. Dave over there does a good job explaining everything. And also pretty much the first, I don't know, 15 podcasts he did were with skaters that formerly skated with Razors, and they all have their own stories about things that have gone on over there. So that actually left me with a poor taste in my mouth before I ever bought these Colts. And now the latest thing came up with Jeff Howard having a horrible injury and having medical bills to cover. Now, I'm personally in the camp that I don't think Razor's skates should be on the hook for his medical bills, or that they are obligated to provide him with health insurance. Skaters are independent contractors, and that's true of most action sports, except for the very top tier guys in really big sports. Some of those guys have health insurance, but if you look into it, a lot of athletes are either uninsured or underinsured, and that's a topic of debate of either getting a union together so you can get a group rate on health insurance, or whether these companies should be providing insurance to these athletes. Most of us, at least the younger ones, if you're 26 and under, you can stay on your parents' health insurance, and that's what people typically rely on. And then once you pass that threshold, I mean, there's tons of tragic stories about top athletes getting injured in training before a competition and having to start a GoFundMe, or there's things out there like the Athlete Recovery Fund, nonprofits that help organize money to give to athletes that do get injured. Competitions usually have their own insurance and you're covered during the competition, but everything that takes place out of organized events, you're kind of on your own. So I don't really think that Razors is any exception to this. I don't think people would have made such a big fuss if it wasn't Razor skates in particular. But the thing that did it for me was the story that Yandriel posted on the Rollerblading Facebook page. And it's just Razors flat out not living up to their word. Using skaters' abilities, using their reach to do marketing for the brand, which is the whole reason you sponsor skaters. But starting an incentives program, getting all of the reach, all of the marketing out of it, and then going back on your word and trying to not pay skaters. If you don't have the money to pay your riders, pay the incentives program that you set up, you shouldn't set up the program to begin with. Just keep your word to your riders. So that one was kind of the final straw for me on whether or not I was just gonna keep looking the other way and riding the Colts. Decided to bust back out the 909s, and I'm loving them. So I'm gonna go work on learning some switch ups, getting comfortable doing switch ups. That was one of the goals I set for myself last year, before last year got turned completely upside down on me, and I wound up not skating near as much as I like to. So I'm gonna do that, and then yeah. That is gonna do it for skating today. I'm gonna keep skating 909s for a while. I just love the way that this boot skates. If you've ever ridden an M12, it reminds me of the way that an M12 skates. Like, it's very maneuverable. I don't wanna say twitchy because that sounds bad, but really, like, you move your foot and it goes where you want. That has been my issue with the Colts. They're incredibly stable, and especially on grinds, but they're a little clunky to move around, just not as responsive of a boot. Again, the plastic on the Razor sole plates is just so good. I am gonna miss that. John Julio, you guys did an amazing job redesigning the sole plate. But man, if anyone's got the formula for Razor's plastic, you need to steal that and start using it in all the skates everywhere, because these make the them skates feel like Aeons. And I remember coming off of Aeons and Sways and thinking that them soles slid fast. Coming off of Colts, these feel incredibly slow. Not a huge issue, I'll get used to it. I've always got wax on me, but that would be my one con to riding this skate right now. I do love that the heel raise isn't quite as high, and just that the skate is so light and nimble. So I think even with all the drama aside, these skates just don't fit me as well. I'm a 9.5 US with a small Intuition, and I can fit the 7.8 in the 909 perfectly. But these are a little bit too long on me, and I don't think I can go down to the 6.7. So between the sizing, just a little bit clunkier. They don't like skate the way that I want them to skate, but I mean, they do grind amazing. So going back to the Vims for a while, probably permanently. That and the Fluid 5s are amazing. These are a little worn out. Gonna have to get a new pair of Fluid 5s. Kaiser, if you're out there, please send me some. That's gonna wrap it up for today. Hopefully get back to making content regularly. But again, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.